Hi, I'm Coach Alan Boissard, and I want to thank you for watching the Challenge Athletes Foundation volunteer video. We hope this video will inspire you to serve your community and also help us share our talents with the swimmers you're about to work with. As a swim instructor, we'd like to follow 3 basic rules given to ourselves as well as the volunteers. The first thing is, we always, and I do mean always, remain in constant contact with the swimmer. That means holding on to them until they feel confident to move on their own. Secondly, we know that each volunteer comes with a wide variety of skills and knowledge. We ask that you follow our guidelines until all parties, the swimmer, you the volunteer, and the instructor agree to change the activity. Lastly, if at any time you feel uncomfortable or feel it's not working well with your swimmer, let us know. We want the best experience for everyone. We have Roderick Sewell, a double amputee, entering the pool. He enters the pool in a seated position, lowering himself step by step into the pool. This is one comfortable way for the individual to move into the pool at their own rate. At all times, you want to make sure that the individual knows the depth of the water. That's one of the most important features. So if their appendage or their leg or arm can reach the bottom, we don't want their legs, feet, hands, or body scraped from the bottom or sides of the pool. Another option is to have the individual sit at the side of the pool and just hop into the water. Again, the concern would be that there's room on either side for them to do so, as well as depth when they enter the water. You'll see a lot of amputees and actually paras that feel comfortable enough, and single leg amputees who just like to hop in the water. Again, make sure depth is sufficient for them to do so. So many pools now are fortunate to have a lift system. The lift system actually has a battery-operated control device that can be monitored by the individual getting in or a secondary person on the side of the pool. You'll see the operator in this sequence lowering the individual down into the water. Once the person is in the water, a volunteer can remove them from the chair, or in this case, Roderick's quite comfortable in the water and he'll just hop off the chair. Most of the time, an individual will be seatbelted in the seat for the ride down as well as out. When operating this piece of equipment, always ensure the individual's feet are clearing the pool deck. Once they're seated, you may have to raise up the seat and then swing it out over the water. At no time should the individual's feet drag behind them or scrape. Sometimes we'll use a seated transfer with 2 individuals. The individuals will lock their arms behind the person's back and under each leg. The person, if they have arms or can possibly help, will put their arms over the individual's shoulders as they walk them to the pool and set them at the edge of the pool or help them down step by step. The key to success on this is communications between the 2 individuals carrying them, so everything stays symmetrical and even. Here's another example of an individual entering the pool area and making good decision choices for themselves on how they would like to enter the water. Again, in most cases, a lot of people already have been in this environment, so we allow and empower them to create their successes. As you can see, the crutches are put down. She maneuvers her legs beautifully into the water, adjusting into a seated position. And you also can see she has protective wear on her feet as she lowers herself into the water and prepares for activity. The instructor is helping and guiding the feet in case they don't have protective wear, and then transferring their weight, shifting up and forward, arm on arm, making a complete turn, and then positioning the individual, extending the arms out, and then allowing the individual to lean back and go into a supine or float position, balancing on the shoulder. As you can see, the instructor has his legs in a stride position for balance, and during activity, the person, by holding at the hips, can guide the individual left or right, two closer to them or further away. As you can see in this position, individual now has great length through the body, holding on with one hand, allowing the individual to find their center point, then moving back under, drawing at the hips and pushing their weight forward into the shoulder to push them into a standing position. And again, bracing underneath the shoulders, leaning forward to return to a standing position. As you can see, the individual is seated. The instructor takes the heels to keep them from scraping on the way down as the individual maneuvers themselves to each level going down until the instructor releases the feet and moves into a lift position underneath the shoulders. The individual positions themselves on the arms. The person is still floating. And in this case, it's a turn transfer to get the individual to remain in a seated position. In this case, the individual is bracing and balancing the person on their knee for more control. From this position, you can see the instructor again working from underneath the shoulders, not grasping the individual, but guiding the individual by tilting their shoulders left to right, right to left in this case. You can see the individual is quite comfortable in this positioning. Again, by drawing closer to the body, having the individual stand, or go back into a lengthened position, holding at the hips, or bracing back at the shoulders again. This is a wonderful way to control the individual and help them find balance and comfort at the same time. In an open water environment, volunteers become key and essential in the safety of transferring the individual sometimes from an elevated stairs down to the water's edge. As you can see in some of these video clips, the individuals are doing an excellent job of using some of the methods of transferring that we just spoke of. The two-person carry. You'll see also the single leg individual hopping with their crutches, the single leg amputee. And again, what is key and critical is the communication between you and the individual on how best they feel and what they feel would be a safe way to move them in an unknown environment. Sometimes you'll find in these situations, some people will not want any help at all. However, we ask you to stay within an arm's reach of them as things commonly change, as the environment changes, and since it's new to them, they might need help at that time. So we're going to be there for them. Lastly, on open water swims, it's critical if the individual is leaving a leg, an arm, or prosthetic device, crutches, that if there's tide changes, that you put their arm, leg, crutches out of harm's way. I want to personally thank you, as well as the Challenge Athletes Foundation, for watching our video and also reaching out to your community to make a difference. Thank you.